Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Horror and Heavy Metal World again. Today I just wanted to share some of my Funko Pop collection. I've got a ton of horror stuff, pretty much all of them that have ever been released, pretty much. There's only a few on my list that I still need to pick up. Some of the older ones that are kind of rare and expensive. But I do have some really good ones and some really cool ones, and I don't know, if you've watched any of my other videos, I believe I mentioned Funko Pops before. I've shared an Ash that I got signed at a Walker Stalker convention. Bruce Campbell signed it. I think I shared that before. But I'm a big fan of the Funko Pops. I used to have a lot of horror collectibles. I had weeded them out a long time ago. I was trying to thin out the herd or whatever, and then the Funko Pops came along, and then it got me right back into it. So I just started buying a bunch of collectibles again. But I want to share just a few of my I don't know if they're the highest value or not, but I know they're definitely more rare and a little more money for them. And some of my favorites as well, so it's kind of all there. First one is Mr. Sam here from the little Trick or Treat anthology movie thing. I know if you're watching this, you know who this is. The little Sam character from the Trick or Treat movie. The one, I believe, I don't remember what year it was made. This is the back of it. I've got one of these little protector cases, the hard protectors. They call them Pop Stacks. I think I bought a bunch of them at Hot Topic way back when. So I got a bunch of them. I got a bunch of my Pops in these, the ones that are more valuable. But you can see he's really cool. I mean, he looks exactly like the character, of course. To me, for something simple like these Funko Pops are, I just felt like they get it pretty close. The detail seems pretty good for what it is. I mean, it's actually very good. I mean, if you know, with a lot of other little figures and stuff for horror and anything, really, any comic characters or whatever, a lot of times I don't know, they'll look funny, the eyes are crazy, or just really doesn't look like they do in the comic or the movie or whatever. I mean, but to me, this one is pretty close. This one looks pretty good to me. This one, I look at it, I'm like, yeah, Trick or Treat. It's definitely Sam. Next one I wanted to share was one that was pretty tough for me to get. I ended up driving probably over 2 different states trying to get this when it was first released. Had to beat a lot of people to try to get one. Is this one right here. The Chase version, which is the bloody version of the, Target exclusive. It was only at Target. And they didn't make very many of these, the Chase version of it. I think a lot of times the new Chase models are like 1 out of 6 rarity. So for every like 6 that there would be made, there'd be 1 Chase version. This one, I don't know if it was 1 in 6 or not. I have a feeling this one was a little less than that. Like it was, maybe it was 1 out of 12 or 24 or something like that. I don't know. 36 maybe. But it was really hard to get. I went to so many Targets. Some of them just didn't get Chases. Some of them, people were like waiting outside for them to open so they'd go hassle them about them. And I'd finally lucked up and found one. I had to go in the back to get them. They hadn't put them out yet, which is the only reason they weren't gone. And there was another person there, and luckily I was there first, because this was the only Chase that they had. Out of, I think they had like 2 cases of them, like 8 or 12, I don't remember. But this was the only one that they had. So I lucked up and got it. The Shining is one of my all-time favorite horror movies. It's just hard for me to always pick a favorite horror movie, but The Shining, sometimes if somebody just asks me randomly, oh yeah, what's your favorite horror movie? The Shining is a lot of times what comes out of my mouth. It's just one of my favorite all-time horror movies. Jack Nicholson was just gold in this. I mean, you couldn't ask anybody else to play it. The one that played Danny and Wendy, too. I mean, it was just, I don't know if it's just the time or it was the director. It was Kubrick. It was a Stephen King story. It was a book that I'd read and enjoyed when I was young. I don't know, but it's just the atmosphere of the movie and just I don't know, just everything about it. Just I don't know. I can't put the word to it, but I really enjoy this movie. I've watched it so many times. Definitely say watch this movie if you never have, but I'm assuming most of you have. Definitely check out The Shining. Definitely worth it. Pick up a lot of Shining collectibles. And this one was one I was real happy about. I've been a fan of Miss Elvira here since I was very young. I remember in the 80s, I want to say, I don't remember if it was USA Network or one of those kind of networks, but I remember staying up late, and she'd be hosting like the late night horror movies, and they're playing, you know, all the crazy cheesy horror movies, and she'd be hosting them, and she was all cheese and everything, you know, and she's wearing her normal outfits with her huge boobs sticking out and everything, and I don't know, I just always thought it was funny. I mean, she was funny to me with the bad cheesy jokes and comments and stuff like that. I really enjoyed it. But this one was a Funko 2016 exclusive. Now, they were only limited to 1,500. I ended up having to come out of pocket on this one to make a purchase. So I had to pay somebody premium for this one. But I didn't care. I had to have this sucker. And I believe since I've got it, it's doubled in value. It's really, I want to say it's really sought after. She's got this red dress on. Looks pretty nice. It's really cool. It's kind of glittery-ish. But, I don't know. To me, the detail and everything's pretty cool. Pretty nice. Good old Mistress of the Dark. If you've never seen that movie, again, check out that movie. Especially Mistress of the Dark. She had a couple other things, but they weren't as good. They're still fun because they're Elvira, but they're not Mistress of the Dark. That was her best. That was her prime. But definitely check that out. Very cool. Hope you can get one. Last one on my list is one I actually ended up having to trade and give away some stuff that I really didn't want to trade to get this one a long time ago. And that is Mr. Jason Voorhees. This one was one of the convention exclusives. It was 2015 SDCC. And it was only limited to 1,008. They only made 1,008 of these. So that is pretty rare. Especially for these things. And with the rarity comes the high value. The ridiculously high value. And I want to say he's probably worth between $500 and $600 now. I got him in one of the pop stacks, of course. But I don't think, unless I'm just so hard up and in a bad financial place or whatever to where I'm just so desperate I gotta have the money, I don't see me ever getting rid of any of these. But especially this one right here. This one and Elvira, really. It's just really hard to get rid of them. They were so hard to get in the first place. I just keep watching it and stuff, and I kind of watch the value. It's almost like stocks. You know, I'm watching it, and I'm like, wow, it's worth more now. It's $50 more. It's $100 more. But this one's really cool. This is the unmasked one, where he looks nice and handsome. Definitely a cool one. If you have an opportunity to cough up the bucks, or if you have some trades and somebody just happens to be trading one, which doesn't happen very often from what I've seen, you definitely want to pick up this sucker. And like I said, I have a ton of these pops. I have at least a few hundred of just the horror ones. Like I said, maybe 300 and something horror-ish ones. But these are, like I said, just some of the ones I wanted to share. I'd like to kind of share most of my collection at some point, but just let me know if there's certain ones that you'd like to see or want to know which ones I have or anything like that. Any questions about them, comments, you love them, you hate them, you don't know what they are, whatever. Just leave me some comments, give me some likes if you like the video, and subscribe. Love subscribers, and guess that's it. Just want to share that. Thanks for watching, and see you later.